there's a father who was denied the access to see his daughter. He was in a custody battle. Not even a custody battle. He was in a visitation battle. And the clip that's floating around, he's at the funeral, but there's a literal line of police officers that are blocking him and his family off from seeing his dead daughter's body, from paying respects and saying their final goodbyes. So a lot of people were outraged. A lot of people didn't know the full story. I saw it and it touched me because it was, besides it being disgusting, I've seen similar things, not that extreme, but I've seen a lot of, just those situations where the mother is not allowing the father to have access to their children for no apparent real reason. So, like I said, a lot of people, it was just very disturbing to see. I've never seen something so drastic. I've never seen a parent, especially, being barred from seeing their kid, and there's a literal police line.
Right.
So, like I said, a lot of people wanted to know the full story. This guy actually was a guest on a podcast that is dedicated to fathers in these type of situations. So I took some notes. I wanted to run through the notes for people to give you up to speed on the basic story, because now we want to speak on the actual issue, the bigger issue. So the father's name is Leon Henry. He was the father of a 10-year-old daughter, and he had filed for visitation of his 2 daughters that he has with this woman. It was not a custody dispute, it was the visitation. He said after he filed the visitation, she filed an order of protection against him, along with a bunch of false allegations to keep him away from his daughters. In 2014, this is when it first, he said he started getting inconsistent visitation. He went to the family court, and because this woman made these issues, these false allegations, he says, it slowed up the process. So they had to, I guess, deal with those issues first before they moved on. So the family court told this man his best bet was to plead guilty to these claims in order to speed up the process.
Right.
So he refused. Luckily, he definitely refused.
Right.
So one of the things he said, they broke up because of his cheating, not because of abuse, not because of anything, abuse to her, abuse to the kids. It was just because, he was unfaithful, and, that's what it was. He said also the mother never wanted them to be together. So it just throws another wrinkle into the situation. So he said the court was his only course of action to see his kids. So, he wasn't doing the drama thing, fighting, going back and forth. He wanted to keep it clean and get his access. The mother won in court, and then he appealed.
Right.
So while on appeal, he can't see his kids. He said this whole process was taking about 5 years going back and forth. At some point, he hears a rumor that his kid is sick. He goes to the courts to be able to check on his daughter to find out if this is true, because the mother is not telling him anything.
Right.
Think about that now. Just to be able to check to see if his kid is actually sick, he has to go to the courts. So the court showed no urgency to get him help. He's saying this is an emergency. He said, he's hearing his kid has cancer. They kept having him run back and forth. By the time he goes to court, every time he went to court, they was adjourning it for a month or two in between. So that's taking, tons of time. Meanwhile, his daughter's sick.
Right.
He gets a call from a relative at one point who said they saw on Facebook that his daughter had passed away. He hadn't seen his daughter at that point in over a year. He said he had supervised visits for 5 years before that.
Right.
So he never really had any real time for his daughter by himself. He goes to the courts to be able to attend the funeral. This is crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So the court order was for a time frame, and it was basically like, you get to see, you can go.
Yeah.
But it's between these hours.
Like 2 and 4.
Yeah, it was like
that. Yeah.
it was 2 days, 2 hours.
Right.
So that in itself is ridiculous.
Right.
So during that time, he had to even Google, because, obviously he wasn't told about the situation. So he had to Google, the court people had to Google just to find out where and when this funeral was taking place.
Right.
So then he had to serve the mother the papers, which is even more ridiculous. So he ends up
24 hours, because he only had a day to do that.
Right. Thank you. So he ends up, getting it done. However, he got it done. Then the lawyer is fighting with him, and the lawyer and the mother's obviously angry that he now has access to the thing, and now they're trying to find ways to stop it. So anyway, he ends up getting to the funeral home. The funeral director tells him that he was told that he wasn't in the picture. He wasn't relevant. So the funeral arrangements was made without him because as a right, both parents are supposed to be involved.
Absolutely.
So he said that the funeral home director was completely stunned because he had no idea that he was in the picture. So as he's there, the lawyer calls him and tells him that he has natural rights as a father, so that he can see, be able to attend the viewing without the court order.
Right.
So now he has this court order, as well as he has natural rights where he can see his kid.
I just have a quick question.
Right.
Sorry to cut you off. Why would the court give him a court order if he already has natural rights? They should already know the law.
That's a good question. That shows that pretty much they was incompetent.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, go ahead.
Or maybe I'm guessing possibly because he did have I'm not sure if it was a restraining order, but it was basically a restraining order, an order of protection. Thank you, for him to stay away. So that might have had something to do with it.
Okay.
Because obviously if he would have violated that,
right,
he's gonna go to jail.
Okay.
He attempted to have a separate viewing from her side of the family to avoid conflict. When he gets there, they didn't leave at the time they were supposed to leave. So that created the conflict. They refused to leave. They blocked the casket, and they would not allow him or his family to see the kid. One of Leon's relatives calls the police. Most people think it was the mother. Other people think it was him. He said one of his relatives actually called the police in order to prevent a situation
escalating.
Right. So the cops get there. He explains that he has the court order as well as he has natural rights. Nobody seems to know what the hell to do. They call more cops and more cops. Nobody knows what to do. He said the funeral director and the cops didn't take responsibility to direct anything and do anything. So you end up having a situation where there's hours of standoff between him, the family, and the police.
Right.
So the police is literally barricading the casket. The family put a blanket over the casket so they can't see the child, and it just became this back and forth to the point where he said the family, and you can see it on the video. The family, the other family was being the aggressors. His family wasn't being aggressive, but the cops are basically all facing him and his family. Even though he said, even they was all sitting down and the other family was standing up and they was the aggressive ones.
Right.
Now, after a few hours, the cops had to do what they had to do. So they disperse everybody to make everybody leave. And one of the officers, because he had compassion for him, he snuck him back in and allowed him 30 minutes to see his kid.
Right.
Which we're not even going to get into that right now. Right. But, okay, so that takes place. Now, the next day, he's supposed to come back and have the second viewing. He gets back and he finds out that the child has been moved, the body has been moved to a whole different place. And he had to go through a whole bunch of drama just to find out where and go. So it's just more issues. So the mother went to that extreme length to stop him from seeing his kid, that now she moves him. She moves the child's body to a whole different funeral home. And now the funeral director from the first place, they know this guy is in position. He has his rights, and they still didn't tell him anything.
Right.
As well as the new place. So it's all types of negligence going on. Absolutely. So to speed this story up, he had to go back and forth, figure out where this other place was. He went there. He had to do what he had to do. And then when it came to the burial, it was a similar situation where he had to go to, he actually was in court the whole day of the burial to try to get that resolved, and he ended up missing the burial.
Right.
So just me telling this story right now gives me a headache.
Right. Absolutely.
And I can't imagine how he felt. And I can't imagine how he had the poise to maintain his composure through all of that. Now, I want to know your thoughts, first of all.
Well, first off, condolences to his family.
Right.
His daughter. But like you said, man, he showed world class. Because if you put yourself in his shoes through the process, me being a father, I could only imagine, you know what I'm saying? But to jump the hurdles and fit through the hoops that he went through, the legal way to see his daughter.
Yeah.
Because let's just as you're telling the story, let's just think about his mind state. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And for him to be able to stay calm and handle things the legal way, which got him really nowhere.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Because we all know if it was us, we'd be like, we running up in there.
Yeah, that's what everybody said.
I'm not waiting for court. I don't need no order. You know what I mean? But
then that would have got him arrested.
Exactly. It would have escalated the situation, and whatever she said in court to get full custody would have been concreted. See, he's crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, you know, I definitely commend the way he handled the situation, but I mean, like, just listening to this it's almost clean cut. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand. And first of all, so many problems with this story.
Yeah.
You know, in the beginning, he wanted to see his child because he heard through the grapevine that she was going through cancer.
Yeah.
It's a little girl we talking about. You know what I mean? And the court system threw him in a pile with the rest of the people in the city and said, yeah, we'll get to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So shame on them.
Right.
He comes back again and goes, yo, she's dead.
Yeah.
Now I was like, oh, let's get you in here tomorrow.
Yeah, then they speed it up.
Yeah. How can you expedite it once the girl's no longer here? But if I'm telling you she got cancer, you sweep it under the rug.
Right.
Now that she's dead, that's blood on your hands, kind of. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And now you want to expedite the situation. And I feel like even with that, they should already look at the mother. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because we all know, and it's a fact, you know, it's not a race thing, but it's a bias thing towards women and mothers. You know,
100%.
As soon as the father and the mother step into a custody battle, 98.9% of the time, 99.9% of the time, the mother is leaving with the children.
Right.
You know? And
even a situation where you know the mother might have a history of drugs.
Yeah.
It has to be something really, really extreme.
Yeah.
For them to give the kids to the father, and that's insane.
Absolutely.
And it's also messed up that the mother can just make claims against the guy
with no evidence.
Right. But if the father did the same exact thing, and even had some actual basis of claims, it wouldn't get him anywhere.
Absolutely not. I don't know how they tie that in. I don't know if it's the mother gave birth to the kid or some type of connection. I don't get it. You know what I mean? But I've known personally a few different situations where the mother is clear cut wrong.
Yeah, I have too.
Yeah, and they just say, "Listen, the kid is going with the mother."
Yeah.
And I don't really agree with that. Hopefully, from this situation, they could do something about that because this man missed the burial of his child.
Yeah.
And while he waited, he still got denied.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, this is the problem that I have. What message are you sending out there?
Right.
Because you're telling me, fuck the court system, fuck the legal system. I'm going to go do this shit myself. And this is the problem we got today. Because if he would have never waited, he would have been at the burial.
Yeah.
Granted, it might have got a little nasty, but in any father's head, I done been through this much already. I'm not going back to the court system.
Now, mind you, he had the right to be there, but he had to get the dates changed.
Right.
So it was just
changed it.
Yeah, it was just as simple as she switched up the dates. So you have this piece of paper, you have the rights, but it has to be by these specific dates. Which is insane because if you get the right to be there, it shouldn't matter what date because the burial is the burial. It doesn't matter what date it is. There's only going to be one time where this person is going to be put into the ground.
Right.
At some point, like all this technical legal stuff has to like make sense in reality. And it doesn't always translate that way, and that's wrong.
Yeah, they got it wrong big time.
Yeah.
And not for nothing, this is what I'm saying. You got somebody that went by the book and still has been denied to see his daughter being buried.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, what message are you sending? Do we not go by the book? Do we just do what we feel? Do we act off of emotion?
Yeah.
This man could have easily acted off of emotion numerous occasions. But he chose the legal route. Why? Because he's a good father. He also has a 12-year-old.
Yeah, he has another daughter.
Yeah, he has another. Yeah, so he's trying to play the cards right.
And that's another part of the crazy part of the situation is it's affecting a lot of the things he's doing, a lot of the things that he's saying right now, because he knows he still has to go through this. He still has to deal with this woman, and he's still fighting for visitation of his other daughter.
Absolutely.
So he has to jump through a whole bunch of hoops still, and kind of be very careful how he handles this situation, even though obviously you can see she's blatantly wrong. I don't understand what you can possibly say to justify her not telling him, first of all, not giving visitation to him, to not inform him that he's sick, that the child is sick.
Right.
Then to not think about it. even from the selfish perspective, but think about from the point of the child. What are you telling this child who knows her father?
Well, you got to remember, this is what a lot of mothers do. They paint an image that their father wants nothing to do with them.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So by her, trying to make the father non-existent, the child is young, so they're impressionable. So at this point,
they start believing that.
Yeah, little girls like, my dad wasn't here for this, he wasn't here for that. You know what I mean? But they don't know what's going on in the background.
Right.
And that's a lot of the issues today. You know what I'm saying? And I just feel like from listening to everything that led up to this, I mean, if not for nothing else, he got lawsuits all over the place.
Yeah.
Not to say that that's going to justify his daughter passing and everything like that, but he has law. Everybody broke the law. Cops broke the law. They broke a court order law. They brought natural right law. The funeral home broke numerous laws.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, this is all over the place. I think that they need to go right back to the courthouse and they need to figure something out when it comes to this visitation, because this mother is literally out of her mind. And I'm going to be honest with you. Let's be honest. I mean, there's no record of the guy even in the system. Number one, there's no record of him being abusive.
Right.
He admitted to cheating on her, which happens. I'm not justifying and saying that's right, but it has nothing to do with the situation.
No, that justifies why they're not together.
Right.
It doesn't justify why he's not being allowed to be a parent.
Right.
That doesn't justify why he wasn't allowed to be there when his daughter was sick and wasn't notified when she was dead, wasn't, notified about the funeral, wasn't allowed at the burial. Like, how can you possibly justify all of that?
But that's what bothers me, because these mothers some mothers are so selfish.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? This literally has nothing to do with the little girl.
Yeah.
This is out of spite.
Yeah. Now, from the court situation, how can you see that she did that and see that she has another kid with him and not look into this situation, look into her actions? That right there, to me, would warrant, okay, if the court is that involved in restricting everything, I think they should be involved in saying, okay, what's going on right here? Let's really find out, what this situation is and why she's acting like this.
Absolutely.
But you got to remember, whatever was said in that court proceeding, or whatever the allegations that she made against him, stuck in court. Now, it's easy for somebody to say, well, whatever the case was, she won. But I've personally seen situations where women have lied in those situations and not being able to prove it. But just because she said it, it's usually implied that the man is wrong.
Right.
In most situations in life, when it comes to an allegation versus a man versus a woman, it's usually just implied, yeah, the guy did it. Because there's this overbearing sympathy for these women. And it's basically like, because we know there are men that do a lot of foul stuff, it's just implied when a woman says it, it's true.
Absolutely.
So if you can't prove it, one way or another, we're just going to go with caution and just say.
Yeah.
But then how does a man clear himself when it's not true? What do you do?
That's tough, man. Because the justice system is supposed to be just. And it just clearly isn't. I mean, we know that on numerous occasions.
We know that's a joke.
But I'm just saying, man, I just feel like let's thank God for the way he handled the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, like, if we could just even imagine what his mental state is. And then, you turn on Channel 12 News and the guy done went crazy. What do you expect?
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? This is what y'all created.
Right. So at some point, he has to process all of this still.
Right.
And then he still has to fight for visitation for his second daughter.
Right.
What happens at some point, all this back and forth gets to him and he loses it?
Yeah.
Nobody's going to take that into account.
Oh.
Or what if what I've seen personally a lot of times is all this back and forth, all this frustration for years and years and years, all this slander, he just says, forget it. Then he walks away from the situation, say, look, this is too much. Mm-hmm. So I'm just going to have to walk away from my daughter and hopefully reconnect with her when she gets older.
Right.
By then, it'll probably be too late.
Right.
And this is what I've seen personally with a lot of different people. But these stories don't get told. It's always the man's not there. He's a deadbeat. He's no good, this and that. It doesn't get addressed when the woman is doing things that are unnecessary for no real reason, and she's keeping them away from the kids. So I want to be very clear. This conversation is 100% about those type of women.
Right.
This isn't about good women who put up with stuff or they do things the right way. This isn't what we're talking about. So
absolutely.
If anybody who chimes in on this, anybody who comments, I don't want to hear from you. If you're talking about, well, I'm a good and I don't do this, I don't want to hear about the people who don't do it. I want to hear from the people from the men who have went through this, and I want to hear from the women if you're going to be truthful enough, if you've done those things.
Right.
Because this is what we're talking about, and I don't want anybody to spin the conversation. Because, it's very easy and convenient. People will start saying, well, there are men that do this and do that. That's not what this conversation's about. That's not what we're talking about. And we know that there's a lot of men like Leon who get restricted and falsely accused, and nobody speaks about it. Nobody does anything about it. This is the topic that we're talking about.
And real quick, didn't they tell him to just take the plea?
Yeah. Yeah.
Come on.
Think about that.
Come on. Just take the plea. It'll speed up the process.
Wow.
That speaks volumes to everybody else that's behind the bars right now.
Yeah. But you hear stuff like that with the court system all the time.
Absolutely.
Just take it and get the misdemeanor or whatever to make it go away. No, that's going on my record. I'm going to admit to something that I did not do.
Absolutely.
And at some point, it probably will be used against me.
Absolutely. And I think that one of the other big things that we need to look at as well is that even though the cop gave him the 30 minutes and snuck him in there, I'm sure he appreciated it, but
yeah, that's not enough time.
It's not enough time, but it's like, how do you expect a father, to mourn over his dead child in 30 minutes after 2 to 3 hours of arguing and standoffs?
Yeah.
How do you mentally get into that state and want to, give your final words?
I don't think you can.
Yeah, he's probably still thinking about.
Yeah, all the drama. But then he wasn't even, you got to think also, he wasn't even allowed to be there for her being sick.
Right.
Also, think about what the daughter must have went through.
Right.
Think about all the time she had to have wanted, his presence there. Mm-hmm. Think about the anguish and the pain that she went through, physically and mentally, with her not having access to her father.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
That's deep, but you know what is also deep? What about the sister that's still alive?
Yeah. What's she dealing with?
She's still going without a father.
Yeah.
And see, that's the thing. That's what bothers me the most. I understand that, men mess up, women mess up.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, the common denominator is the child.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So you're keeping this child away from her father, which is supposed to teach her all the valuable things that a father can teach a daughter.
Mm-hmm.
But you keeping her from that. A mother cannot instill that in a child. It's impossible.
No.
She cannot instill what a father is supposed to instill.
No.
She can try, We've all had those situations where everybody try to help out. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
But you're not a man. You understand what I'm saying? So like you said, how was the daughter fighting cancer? How was she going through this?
Yeah.
There's some things that a mother can't do. You understand what I'm saying? So when all of these mothers is out there trying to use children as pawns because they're in their feelings, that the male no longer wants to deal with them at all.
Yeah.
All we want to do is take care of our children.
Yeah.
Right? So the mothers get spiteful and say, now you can't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You don't love me, you don't love us. You can't see the kid.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You understand what I'm saying? But look how deep the hatred is, that you done separated a father from their sickly daughter, right? And the sister. That's just watching all of this go on.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, you just scarred that kid for life.
Yeah.
That's deep.
Now, it also makes me wonder if I'm pretty sure that the other daughter was there at the funeral.
Right.
So she's watching this and she's seeing, wait, I don't know what she was told, obviously, but she's seeing her father's there. She's seeing her father being blocked off from seeing, her sister.
Mm-hmm.
She's seeing the rest of the family there. So if he's not having access, his whole other side of his family isn't having access. Right. So she's seeing all this and she's like, wait, obviously they do care. Or maybe you don't know, maybe her mindset, she's been so brainwashed, she's sitting there resenting him.
Mm-hmm.
And like, it's so messed up. I want to really get to the understanding of why this happens. Like what is going through women that they can't separate not being with the guy, whatever feelings and issues they might have against them, and say you still need to be a parent. Because the way the women treat it, as well as the way the court system and even a lot of society, we condemn the men, but then it's just like, you're basically like, just pay for the kid.
Right.
Offer your money.
Right.
And do what we want you to do when we tell you to do it. And other than that, you're irrelevant. But then we get knocked and bashed for not being fathers and not being there.
You know what's crazy about that?
Mm-hmm.
like I said earlier, what type of message are we sending?
Yeah.
Because, you know, I know people personally that once you legally pay child support, your job as a father is done according to the legal system, which is crazy.
Right. And who created that?
Who created that?
Right.
Because it's like, yo, who's supposed to teach this kid how to maneuver in the world?
Yeah.
Long as I pay my $180 a month, I ain't got shit to do with the kid. You understand what I'm saying? Or whatever the price may be. And I feel like, I think it's selfish of any parent, because at the end of the day, your daughter is watching you, you know, bash her father.
Right.
Right? But my thing is this: when your daughter gets older and she's in this world, what type of men is she supposed to attract?
Right. Because
she don't even know what to do.
Yeah, because you gave her a negative view of men.
Right.
Because the first man that they're going to learn to love and respect and view and learn what a man is their father, or should be. So if that was already distorted from day one, how can they look at any other man the right way and know what they're supposed to be looking for in a man?
And that goes back to what I'm saying. It's bigger than the parents.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? It's bigger than that.
Yep.
Because you raising this little girl and you think you win it. This is a battle that you having by yourself.
Yeah.
Your daughter's the one that's suffering from the battle. You think you hurting the father. What about the one that's still alive? She's the one that's suffering. Because right now, you're selfish for trying to get your own satisfaction out of, now he can't do this and now he can't do that.
Right.
But when your daughter's 18 and she don't know what to do with herself and she's out here just strung out, you're not going to, you know what I'm saying? Because she had no direction.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? If you acting like this in public, I can only imagine how the household is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like we got to figure out something, man, to make this a little bit more, fair towards the male parent.
It makes me wonder, what's going on with her whole family?
To even stand behind that.
Right. Like how's everybody else accepting of this? Like, all right, family is usually going to go with family when it comes to relationship issues, right? Mm-hmm. Now, I get all of that. Like, it is what it is. And a lot of times they're not going to get the whole story. Right. So I get that whole point. But how is it that the kid is sick? And you telling me the family, nobody reached out and said, all right, wait a minute, this ain't right. True, yeah. If she's not doing it, let me go let this man know what's going on with his daughter. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't know what's happening behind the scenes. There could have been people from her family, getting at her and saying, this isn't right, whatever. We don't know. Mm-hmm. But at some point, somebody should have reached out. Like, all right, she's not listening. She's being impossible. This ain't right. He needs to know. Let me reach out. And at some point, for certain things, you just got to break that line.
Yeah. And then at some point, in some things, how selfish can you be?
Right.
This is a child's life. I just don't get it. I don't get it. Because I see it, we see it happen all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? With just regular custody, visitation rights. We get it. We see it. I don't get it, but I see it, right? But the girl got cancer. The girl passes away, and you still, no.
Yeah.
Then you put a towel over the casket. I can't see her face. What are you doing?
That's next level.
And I feel like, and I want to bring up the cops. Mm-hmm. We all know cops really aren't trained in, a lot of legal matters when it comes to, you know what I'm saying? So I get it. Right. I get it. I do get it. But at some point, there's common sense, right?
Yeah.
The man comes in here with a court order.
That should be it right there.
Yeah, because that's superior to a cop.
You can't abide by the court.
Yeah, that's the court. I came in here with a court order, and I have my daughter's birth certificate. This is my daughter.
Right.
I have a court order to see her.
Right.
Get those people out the way, move the towel so I can see it.
And their time was up. They were supposed to be out of there.
And their time was up.
At that point, though, it is the duty of the police can enforce it, but it's before that. It's the funeral director.
Okay.
To enforce that, because that's his domain.
Okay.
It's like, all right, you were scheduled to be here for this time. It's their time. You got to go.
Okay.
It should have been that simple.
It should have been. But then you think about, and this is wrong, but my mental is like, well, maybe this funeral home owner is like, well, listen, she's the one paying for everything, right? She's scheduled everything. She's paying for everything. If I kick her out now, what's going to happen now, right? But at the end of the day, what's going to happen now? Now you got a legal case against you.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And I think that, like I was saying, back to the cops, in the video I watched, they were facing his family side, right? Which was a little odd to me that they were sitting down. Yes, they were the bigger crowd.
Right.
Right. But I felt like they was watching them as if y'all intruded, y'all about to get crazy. You know what I mean?
Right.
Which wasn't right. I feel as though, and I'm not a police officer, but I feel as though if I was there, I would have said, listen, this is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
He has a court order. We can be in trouble if we don't abide by the court order. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So y'all seen the body. That's it. Out the way.
Yeah.
You putting it, this is the man's daughter. How you going to tell him he can't? You understand what I'm saying? And he got a court order. So I felt like if I was a police officer in that situation, I would have said, listen, y'all got to go.
Right.
Or pull the funeral home owner to the side and say, this is what it is. You can be sued and we can be sued.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I don't know.
How all right, I want to pivot slightly.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen growing up, I've seen a lot of situations where there weren't a lot of men around in a lot of families. Mm-hmm. And, you hear what you hear, you think what you think, you know what you know. But as I started to get older and I saw my friends go through situations, I saw a different aspect of it, and it opened my eyes. So I saw some of my friends go through situations where the mother won't allow them to see their kids, or they're making it very difficult and just causing problems and painting bad pictures about them. Now, I've seen it to the point where some people, after years of going through it, they get fed up and they walk away. Mm-hmm. And the story gets told, he's a deadbeat, he's no good. But one thing that gets lost, even when you don't know the full story, whenever you see a man fighting for his kid in any way, that tells you something.
Right.
Because we always get this story that these men are not around, they don't care, they're no good. And I want people to listen to what I'm about to say right now. I've even seen situations where men get into physical altercations with the mother of their kids over not seeing their kid. Now, it's not right to be abusing women, all that.
Right.
But you have to think about something, and this gets lost. If things get to the point where this man is fighting the woman over this, that means he wants to see his kids. He's very passionate, and something is wrong because he's not allowed to see his kids. Mm-hmm. So instead of him disappearing, he's there continuously trying to get this access, and it gets to the point where it boils over to now things go wrong, and now they're fighting,
right?
Physically fighting. But you have to look at it and say, well, why would this man be fighting, putting his hands on this woman,
risking his freedom,
right? Yeah. Because he can't see his kids. That means he cares. That means he wants to be there, and that means he's being denied, and he's getting no help. That has to be looked at a certain way. It's still Absolutely. Not right, but you just have to see the intent. He wants to see his kids.
Yeah, and I think that we get, men get painted a certain way. Mm-hmm. Like you said, as growing up, it was a lot of households, without fathers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But the story, not to cut you, but the story doesn't get told if the men got pushed out.
Right.
Doesn't get told that way.
But what I'm saying is, though, like, you got a lot of fathers that just pay child support and feel as though they taking care of, their duty. But then, like you said, you got a whole nother side of fathers that's actually fighting. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I feel as though those don't get recognized.
No, they don't.
Because this is what happens. This is a severe case we're talking about with Leon, right? Yeah. But you got other cases where it's really just court. Nobody's dying. It's just court. And then the male, the father gets beat up, emotionally. Like, I got to do all of this just to see, you know what I mean?
Right.
And it's like sometimes, you got men that'll actually be like, yo, you know what? It ain't worth it. I'm out. Yeah. But then you got men that fight, and then the men that fight never get brought to attention.
No.
Or it definitely never gets brought to the child's attention.
No.
Me and your father was fighting in court for years because he wanted to see you.
Right.
But I told him no. You know what I'm saying? That never happened.
No, it's not going to be said.
It's just we grow up and we like, yo, he's not here no more.
Right.
Or he's packing his shit and he's leaving.
Right.
But nothing is explained to the child. You understand what I'm saying? So I just feel like not all fathers are deadbeats. There's a lot of deadbeat mothers out there, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's a fact.
You know what I'm saying?
It's deep to me too that, like I said, I know people who they just got fed up. Mm-hmm. And, so I was saying before, I've seen the other side. Mm-hmm. But it bothers me that story doesn't get told, where the men, the women are in certain cases, some of these women just want the kid. Mm-hmm. And for whatever is going on in their mind, they feel like, I guess because how they were brought up,
okay,
they feel like they don't need the father around.
Right.
So a lot of times it's just literally, I want to get a kid from this dude. And then once I get the kid, all right, he can go.
Right.
So they do things to push him away. And then it's like, you know, it's just like, all right, I'm just gonna take him for child support and make sure he pays so I can get that financial help. But I don't want him involved. Just give me money, shut up, and get out of here. And what happens even in those situations, I've seen where men will be supporting their kids financially, and they'll tell the women, listen, if you take me to child support, they're gonna make me pay less than I'm already doing.
Right.
So once that happens, I'm going to give you what they tell me to give you and nothing else, because you're going to screw yourself.
Right.
Don't do that. I've seen it happen. I've seen them do it. And it, just like they say, the woman ends up getting less, and now she's upset.
Yeah.
Now she's getting the child support. It's being taken out of their check, or they got to pay. But now she's still demanding more, and she's mad. And now when the guy's like, no, now, of course, you're not a good father because now you're not doing for your kid.
Absolutely.
But you created this unnecessary situation. And it's just, these things just don't make sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like these women, some women are having kids and then use it because they understand if the kid is in your possession,
Yeah.
the ball's in your court.
Yeah, you have control.
You have
You have control over him.
Right.
Yeah, you have total control.
Yeah, you have total control. And I feel like, I think that there's a miseducation when it comes to the importance of a father. And like you said,
100%.
I think a lot of it comes from too. A lot of people grew up without stable households. It was always just the mother always seems to be the one there. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like there's no education on, wow, because my father was here, this is why I am the way I am.
Right.
But instead, a lot of us are the way we are because there was an absence of a father.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like even Leon's baby's mother, you know, she probably grew up without one. So she doesn't see the value in even, you know what I'm saying, allowing this man to fight to see, regardless of their personal situation.
Yeah. You're right. You're probably
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you understand we creatures of habit, right?
Yeah.
So like she probably don't realize it. You know what I'm saying? And she thinks I'm Superwoman. I'll take care of the kids just like my mother did us.
Yeah.
Right? But you got somebody like Leon, whether his father's there or not, he understands. I need to be there. These are my kids.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? He got 2 young girls. They need to see structure. You understand what I'm saying? So I just feel like there is a little bit of a miseducation when it comes to the importance of fathers. Everybody gives the mother all of this credit. You know, they birth the kid, they feed, they do this. Okay. Some things are by DNA designed for them to do.
Right.
And some things are by DNA designed for us to do. You understand what I'm saying? So I think that in the future, man, we really need to have like a segment on the importance of a father.
Yeah, we definitely need to address that. 100%. We need to talk about that. But yeah, I just wanted to bring this to people's attention. There is a petition that was signed that was out there. I definitely signed the petition. I hope this, you know, gets pushed through and you know, some changes can be made. I don't know if you have anything else you want to add, but I do want to come back before we, but I want to say that I want to come back to this topic. I want to try to get some men and women on to discuss, you know, if they've been through this and their side and their point of view.
Okay.
So I definitely want to, you know, revisit this conversation.
Yeah, I just wanted to add, where do we find a petition? What is the petition for? I did hear a little bit that he's trying to pass a law, right? He's trying to create a bill or a law.
I can't think off the top of my head, but the law is basically to stop from what happened to him from happening again.
Okay.
I'm going to leave links in the description for the petition in case you want to sign it or you want to just check it out. Leon's Instagram, where you can find footage of some of the funeral incident. Also, the Father's Truth podcast that Leon was on and he told his complete story. All links will be in the description. Check it out. There needs to be more awareness of fathers not having the proper rights, getting the proper help, and fathers that are fighting to be in the lives of their kids and being denied.
Right.
It's something that I also left out is there's a lot of fathers, and I'm going to come back and touch on this also. There's a lot of fathers who have committed suicide over the stress and the struggle of not being able to see their kids. That never gets addressed. That never gets spoken about.
Right.
Now, let me think about if something else. I saw in the news the other day, they said a father kidnapped his child and they basically said like they took him. So you gotta think, what people would just assume, all right, this man is crazy. He kidnapped his own daughter. How do you kidnap your own daughter? And why would you kidnap your own daughter? The thing that bothers me is a lot of people hear that and they assume that this man is crazy. He's a threat. Mm-hmm. That's the first thing people think. But you have to ask yourself, why, unless this man is mentally insane, which I doubt, why would he have to kidnap his daughter? Right. There's something there where he's obviously not being allowed to see his daughter. He's so frustrated that he just takes her. Right. But why is he being stopped? Why is he being denied that access in the first place?
Absolutely.
Unless somebody is abusive or a pedophile, mm-hmm. I'm not sure why you should be restricted from seeing your kids.
Absolutely. I agree. But I feel like, in the world we live in, everything is more geared when it comes to helping towards women. Right?
Right, but okay, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
But why?
Oh, I don't know. We're gonna have to figure that out.
But why is it not even being addressed? Mm-hmm. Like, this is what I'm trying to say. When we see certain things, like this situation with Leon, mm-hmm. with when you see somebody abducted their own child, when men are fighting with the woman over the kid, why is it not being looked at deeper? It's just looked at on the surface of right. This is what it is. Why is it not looking deeper? Why is this happening? Why would a man have to go through these lamps over his kid when people usually say, paint the picture that the man isn't there and they don't care? Mm-hmm. Isn't that a sign that this man does want to be there and he does care?
Right.
Why doesn't that get looked at the right way?
I don't know.
A lot of people in different comment section of different videos that I watched said, the first thing they said was, well, you don't know the whole story, mm-hmm. which we don't.
Right.
And you don't know, what he might have done. Well, somebody tell me, again, unless you're a pedophile or you're abusive or, you have a history doing things against kids, why would you be restricted from visitation from your kids? Why would you not be allowed to know that your kid is sick? Why would you not be notified that they died? Why would you be restricted from seeing their funeral and their burial? Somebody explain that to me.
Right. And especially with no priors or, nothing in the system stating that he was like that.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, that's a little extreme. And we don't know the whole story. You know what I'm saying? But there's really no excuse for a child being dead or being pronounced with cancer that I can't see my child.
I put out a message on YouTube for fathers to call in if they wanted to share their experiences on this subject, if they've gone through similar things. So we're going to go to one of those calls right now. So I just wanted you to state your name, where you're from, and if kind of go into the story of like what you've been through on this type of situation where you've had I'll let you tell it.
My name is Juan from Mount Vernon, Curly, Georgia. I've been through that before. The relationship didn't work. Focusing on let's just raise the kid. It's how can I get you back? For a relationship not working. At the job that I was working at the time, my schedules was different. Like one day I get off at 7, another day I get off at 5. Getting off at 5 actually was good because it's like pre-K.
Okay.
Right down the block. Was down the block from me. So I'd be like, yo, I'm getting out for 5 today. I'm gonna pick him up, take him to go get something to eat, and do his homework, and I'll drop him off. Mm-hmm. She's like, no. And I'm like, what do you mean no? Like I'm calling you to tell you I'm gonna pick up the boy early to spend some time with him. I know we got visitations, but you're really having a problem with me seeing him on a day like just cause I wanted to go see him, pick him up, get him something to eat. Like it was stuff like that. Like it gets to the point where you get depressed, you get extremely pissed off. It's either you continue with the bull, or you might have to step away.
Right.
Because you're not thinking straight. Mm-hmm. So at some point you start thinking violently, like, yo, I'm gonna do something to this chick. Like she out of her mind.
Yeah.
And it's best. Sometimes it's. I mean, even her mother actually said at some point he's gonna get tired of your shit to her. Mm-hmm. So it's not like
Right.
It happens. Like, oh, you you being crazy like that? No, you want me to do something stupid that's gonna risk my freedom, risk my life, and then I'm really never gonna be able to see the boy.
Yeah.
So you know what? I'm gonna step back, and hopefully I'll be able to explain to him when he gets older. Because throughout the thing is that we also do is we as men do wrong too. We don't tell the kid what their mother's doing. Because we've been told, no, don't speak bad about the mother. Meanwhile, the mother's over there saying, your father ain't shit.
Nah, for real.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, your father ain't shit. But we're supposed to be like, no, you don't speak bad about the mom or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's one thing. Like, I remember I'm like, yeah, I'm just wait till he gets older and then I explain to him. Now, if I could go back, I'm telling him from the get-go, your mother ain't shit. She's keeping me away from you. She has me going down from the Bronx and Yonkers to all the way down to Brooklyn on public transportation on Saturday morning to go pick you up early in the morning, and there's construction, so it's taking me about 3 hours to get there, just so I can get there, and she's disappeared. Disappeared.
Playing games.
I don't know where y'all at.
Let me ask you a question. What was the reason for her denying you access? Was there any abuse, any was there something that, would have made her concerned or feared for the child's safety in your presence?
No. Hell no.
So you were saying
she really started keeping me away. She really started keeping me away when she, out of nowhere, turns into a lesbian. Turns into a lesbian and moves from Mount Vernon to Brooklyn to live with a lesbian girlfriend. So now all of a sudden, I guess it's like she trying to. I'm just guessing, but I'm like, you're just trying to erase the fact that at some point you wasn't a lesbian. Like, is that what you're trying to do? Like the baby, like the boy came from nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, because at some point I even asked her, because I'm actually coming back from Brooklyn at some point, and she finally calls me, and I'm like, yo, this is up. Like, you got me. I'm trying to see my kid here. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, what was your plan? Have the kid and then to hell with the father? She said, yeah.
Wow.
She said, yeah.
Keep it clean, please.
So she, like, this shit crazy. She said, yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever get like really deep into like first of all, let me ask you, when did you? Obviously, you guys were together at a certain point. And, you were happy, you had the kid. At what point did you start to see the switch in her not wanting to be there? And was you there from the beginning?
I was there from the beginning with the boy. I was there from the beginning. I was there. Remember, they didn't tell me she was going into labor until after the baby was born.
Wow.
So I missed the birth. But remember, I was in a cab ride at early in the morning. Told the cab driver, listen, my child's born. I need to get to the hospital. This dude damn near killed us getting me there. That scared the crap out of me. But that's another story. So I was there from the get-go. Like, you know what I mean? I put it to you like this, and only real father will understand it. All right, you remember back in those days, it was white T-shirts, white tees. Everybody rocking white tees, right? I was going through white tees a day. Why? Because I burnt my son and he threw up on me. They didn't care. They
I see what you're saying. Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They didn't care. I had my peoples bring me a white tee out to the hospital because I'm like, yo, I was walking around and I didn't take it off because I'm like, I don't care. It's my son's throat. I don't give a damn. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
So I was changing diapers, come home, like the one thing that I'm gonna say to dudes is, take your time. Take your time, because we really didn't know each other. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like, we really didn't know. You think you know somebody, but you don't know somebody till you live with somebody. You've been around them and situations happen. You don't, you gotta take your time who you have kids with, because seriously, it'll mess you up mentally when you're laying down in bed and you like, damn, I haven't seen my kid in a month. And anytime I go, it's like drama. She tried to control me with the baby, because this is what happens. At some point, she went around my back and made a deal with my sister. My sister, out of all people, that the baby can go to my mother's house in Mount Vernon, and I'm living in the Bronx. The baby go to my mother's house. I can go see the baby there. I can go see little man there, but I need to be supervised.
Wow.
By who? For what?
Well, what was her reasoning for that?
Just cause. That was what she wanted. Just cause. Also, I got into a new relationship with the girl that is now my wife.
Mm-hmm.
That's when it really started picking up. Because she started saying, okay, this wasn't just like a girlfriend, like, this was serious.
Mm-hmm.
That's when it really started picking up.
Let me ask you, did you guys break up as a result of parenting issues, like, or was there something else? And then she made, the decision once you guys were broken up.
Now, we was going through stuff like, I was starting to figure out how, like, vindictive she can be. Like, I want to say vindictive. I want to say vindictive. She wasn't a nice person. Like,
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, she wasn't a nice person. Like, I'm starting to see little signs of stuff, and it's just like, there's certain things just not adding up. We're having arguments over simple things. Like, if you know we're going to go out, get ready. You know what I'm saying? Like, get ready. Like, there was one time, like, your sister, I don't like your sister. Your sister only comes around to cause drama. She didn't help with anything else, but she does come through for drama. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want her here.
Right.
You still have her here. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
and then she was just pretty much being vindictive when she realized you had another situation.
Huh?
I said she was pretty much being vindictive when she realized you had another situation. So a lot of it was out of spite.
Oh yeah.
Right.
But when you guys were together, were you guys still having parenting issues, or was everything okay until, as far as the parenting part?
No. Once, at some point, like, she was a new mother, you know what I'm saying? So it's not like she was perfect. But when we broke up, she was leaving the baby over at my mother's house all the time. You know what I'm saying? All the time. Like, so, it got to the point where it's like, what are you doing? And then all of a sudden she decided, I guess, I gave it to her, she matured, I guess, and was just like, all right, I need to be in my mom or whatever. But then that results in me not being able to see him. Like, you know what I mean? You move my son down to Brooklyn. Okay, fine. I'm taking this train to go get him. Why am I going through shit? If I'm late, I remember we went to court, and she told the judge that I picked up the child. I was picking him up late, and the judge, before I even said something, said, "Listen, if he's late, that's nothing. That's nothing to do with it. He's picking him up.
Right.
It doesn't matter if he's late." And the judge had to tell her, you know how many mothers come through here where the father don't even pick the kid. They don't do nothing for him to pay child support. Like, pay the child support. So you over here complaining about him being late. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. So
you out here actually trying to be a father.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. But it's always like that, though. I've come to realize this, because it's always like that. Dudes that actually try to be a father always get the crazy baby mamas. Always get the crazy baby mamas. The ones that ain't shit don't get taken to child support. They don't get through this. They don't get bothered.
Right.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Well, it's weird, but if you think about it, in order to be taken for child support and to even be harassed, you have to be in the picture.
Right.
Exactly.
That's deep. So let me ask you, what was your experience with the court system?
Sucked. All right. Oh, first of all, when she moved down to Brooklyn and she was doing that shit, I went to the court. The court was in Westchester, so I go to the court in Westchester like, yo, she's not letting me see my kid. They tell me well, she's out of the county or whatever, so you got to go down to Brooklyn. I go down to Brooklyn. They tell me that the court order was from Westchester. I go back to Westchester. Wow. They tell me they go back to Brooklyn. Bro, I did that so many times. I went back to Westchester, and I just snapped when the lady said I got to go back to Brooklyn. I snapped. I said, yo, this is crazy. Y'all, I'm going back and forth, and nobody's helping me. I called the freaking police department in freaking Brooklyn, and the first thing that the lady cop answered was like, she had an attitude towards me. Because I'm like, I'm trying to find my son. I don't know where she moved to. I'm trying to find him. Can you help me find my son? She's like, is there an order of protection against you? What?
Wow. Automatically biased towards the woman.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I'm like, no. I have visitations and I can't see it. I don't know where she's at. And she's going on like at some point I'm like, look, what issues you got? I need to see my son. Okay? There's no order of protection against me. There's nothing against me. None of that stuff. She just doesn't want to let me see my son, and I don't know where they at. Can you help me? That's when I guess she snapped back and was like, wow. Okay, so so
wow. And then when you got into the court system, did you feel like, they was more biased towards the mother, or?
Of course they are. Because she moved around a couple of times. Child support will find you. No matter where you go. They'll find you. Child support will find you. Yeah. But call child support and try to find out her new address. See if they'll give it to you. No, they won't.
Wow.
They won't give you the address of your child that you're paying for.
Right.
Right? That you're paying for. They won't give you the address. Well, they'll find you wherever you go.
Let me ask you this. I've always heard about people saying that, number one, when they get taken for child support, there's a lot of times where they end up paying less than they was actually already given the mother.
That was me.
And then, so how did that work?
That was me. Well, I told her. This is the thing. Prior to taking me to child support, right, I was given $80 a week. $80 a week. If he needed diapers, I'd buy that separately. If he needed clothes, I'd buy that. I was buying them clothes just about every freaking paycheck. Like,
wow.
I went nuts. I was going nuts with little man. Like, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I was going nuts with little man. I've learned now. Like, I got 2 more kids now, so now I'm like, you can't just be doing it. You know what I mean?
Right.
I was going nuts. So took me to child support. They actually made me pay $70 a week. So now you're getting less.
Yeah.
And now, and I'm going to keep it 100 with you, you didn't have to take me to child support. You know why she took me to child support? Because, what is it? Public assistance said that she had to take me to child support.
In order for them to support her.
Wow.
In order for them to help her.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
Public
true.
assistance said, so that's what she took me to child support. So she took me to child support, and I'm going to keep it, I don't know about any other man, but once you take me to child support,
your job is done.
The extra stuff that I would do normally, I'm not doing now. I'm not doing now because you took me to child support, so now you got the courts involved. Me and you can handle stuff on some very simple, you know what I mean? I ain't got no problems, but once you take me to child support, okay, fine.
Yeah. Did she make any false claims or say anything like negative about you? Like, obviously, I don't know, but like, was she saying you wasn't supporting him, or like, how did that work?
Nah, she just put me on it.
Okay.
Like, we didn't go, at that time, we still wasn't beefing. You know what I mean? At that time, we was broken up, but we wasn't beefing. So she would actually, be at my house. You know what I'm saying? With little man. And it's not like she just come and get him. She come, we talk a little bit. This is going on, you know what I'm saying? Nothing sexual. We stopped having relations as soon as we stopped dealing with each other. You know what I mean?
That's
and she explained to me. She was like, yo, and the lady actually came because we were going through some shit. So the lady, they actually came to make sure that when the child's also at my house, he's being well taken care of. You know what I'm saying? Because I told you at some point she was delinquent with little man. So So now they also got to come to my house. So they come to my house. She's there. The baby's there. Lady looking around. The house is clean, spotless. You know what I mean? Cool. Everything good. The lady tells in front of me, she has to put you on child support to get help. Straight like that. And I'm just like, wow. Why?
Wow.
She's like, yo, she has to. She has to.
Yeah,
okay.
that's like that's
clearly a flaw in the system.
Yeah, but that is like a law. Like they look at it like if he's still alive and breathing. You know what I mean? But the thing that's crazy is I want to know like when you, because I know a lot of men do that too, including like my father growing up. Once he had to pay child support, we really couldn't get nothing else out of him. You know what I'm saying? So I'm asking you, like, as somebody that went through this, like, what type of mind state does that put you in? Like, why do you, like, how do you get to that point where you say, once I'm legally paying child support, because we all know about a court system, once you pay child support, your job as a father is done.
Because it's disrespectful. It's disrespectful, especially in the context of our work. Like, yo, let me get this straight. So, since she was born, I've been here. You know what I'm saying? She's born, I've been here. Like, I'm giving you money weekly. Buying diapers, and not regular diapers. Mama, I was thinking of Costco's. That's why I discovered Costco's. You know what I'm saying?
Getting the good shit.
Like, yeah. So I don't mind thinking of Costco's. I'm getting the boxes, and I'm telling her, and the crazy shit is I'm telling her, I'm like, yo, don't wait till the diapers are done. Don't wait till he's down to one. Wait till he's down to one, because it's probably like 3 rows. So wait till he's down to 1 row, then tell me, I know, okay, 1 row, I got a few days, I could get him to, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Nah, she would call me, he got 1 diaper left. Mother, what? Like, and I'm a new dad. I'm like, I'm panicking. Like,
it's the end of the world.
Yeah. I gotta get these. Like, not even like, now I'm like, okay. What are you waiting for till you get 1 diaper for? Like, now I'm more calm, but I get it. Oh man, what? And I think she played on it. But this is the thing though. Once you get full of on child support, okay, I'll buy him something directly. You know what I'm saying? Directly. If I'm in his life.
Right.
Directly, like, okay, he's with me. Come on, you get some sneakers, bro. Let's go get you some sneakers. You need a haircut. Go get you a haircut. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? I don't like those clothes you got on. Let's go get you an outfit. You know what I'm saying? Like that. But like, as far as her, with her and all that, nah, it changes the dynamic. I know no good deadbeat. Yo, how's your kid? Man, I ain't even see the motherfucker since he was born.
Right.
Dudes. You know what I'm saying?
And here you are trying to make a difference.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this question. Do you think, or what do you think was, I don't know how to pose this question. Do you think her way of not valuing your role as a father had something to do with her upbringing?
Probably. But you gotta understand too, at some point, the generation before was full of deadbeats. Like it was like an accepted thing of dudes not taking care of their kids, or if they was still there, they have no mind. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was generations, like the generation before mine and prior was full of deadbeats.
Yeah.
So I can imagine, the women are also growing up like, I don't need a man, because I don't need a man to raise a child, because that's how they're being conditioned by other freaking women with the same mentality. You know what I'm saying?
And that's the issue, though. That's a big issue.
It is.
It makes me wonder in some of those situations, like the same way you were there, but you were being blocked from having access to your kid and being blocked from being a father, and the picture was being painted. I'm pretty sure she was painting the picture differently to her friends and family. So I wonder if even in our generation, some of those men went through the same thing, but that story was just never told.
Of course. Oh, man, true. Very true. Very true.
Did you actually see that she was painting a picture that you didn't want to be there, or you know you.
Oh, she tried. She tried, but she got. You gotta understand, like I was around her family. You know what I'm saying? So as much as her mother's gonna stick with her because obviously it's her daughter. But her mother knows. Like they got into arguments over it. Like because when she was doing what she was doing, she was like, yeah, he tried. Like I went to their house one time. And I was like, yo, I want to see my kid. Like I don't know what's wrong with her. And her mother came out, her stepfather came out, and I'm like, yo, can I see him? Can I hold him? They brought him out, and she did with an attitude. And her mother knows. Like her family knows. It's like, yo, she on some bullshit.
Okay.
The dude off the rip was like, we're gonna try to make it work as a family. So you on some bullshit, and then you trying to portray him like something else. Okay, like, but that's with any relationship that don't work. You know, anytime you break up with a woman or something like that, she's gonna say anything that's
especially
negative
if you find somebody new. You know what I mean?
Oh, why?
Let me ask you this question. How did you? First of all, how did you feel going through that, and how did you cope with it?
I didn't handle it well. I did not handle it well because all that also caused a rift between me and my family.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because how could you agree to me being supervised? You know what I'm saying? To see my kid, my child. Like, I all that caused a rift between me. I didn't handle it well at all.
Because, and then it's like, well, why do I need to be supervised? What are you trying to imply? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then another thing I think, go ahead.
We was in court. You know what I'm saying? We was in court. Like, I remember one time we was in court and she tried to say, oh, he's a thug and he's a gangster. He raps. And I'm like, yeah, I do rap. You know? I also work at a school bus company where I'm the head supervisor, and I'm also disabled veteran of the United States Army with no jail record.
That was the most she can say is you rap and you're a thug? What does that mean?
You know what I mean?
What does that have to do with being a father?
What are you talking about? Right? So.
But you know, that goes back to saying how the courts always favor the mother. She said you're a rapper and you're a thug, and then you read down your list, and then it's like, okay, cool, but she still gets what she wants. You know what I'm saying?
What qualifies you to be unfit?
Yeah.
Still. That's just how it goes. That's why I'm going to say it again. Be careful who you have kids with, because you're dealing with that for life. You know what I'm saying? You are literally dealing with that for life. Like, because I don't know about anybody else, but right, as soon as they turn 18, it doesn't mean you stop being a father.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Hopefully I'm lucky and little man decides when he's 18 he wants to come move in with me or something. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you've never had any real resolution to this situation?
Oh no.
How long has it?
It's been going on since officially when she started really acting up. He was about 4 years old.
And he's how old now?
He's 14.
Wow. So basically a whole decade you've been dealing with this.
You know my father told me actually before he passed away? Because my mother was like, well, you need to go. I'm like, yo, look, if I keep going and dealing with this, at some point, like, I'm going to lose it. I have patience, but I'm going to lose it. Like, I'm going to hurt this girl. Like, this is crazy. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just keeping you from my kid. Like, so my father was like, listen, I understand. I'm like, what? He's like, your older sister, I went through the same thing with her mother. So I understand. And yeah, it is better that you just step away. If that's how you feeling that, like you,
right.
Because he sees me. You know what I'm saying? Like, he see me. I'm telling my father, yo, I'm gonna go pick little man up, find him on my way. Then we're gonna come back, and you know what I'm saying? We're gonna spend the family, all that stuff, and I'm calling and saying she disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Oh,
It's
this was a beautiful time. It was a birthday of his, and it just so happened to land on my weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And I told her ahead of time, listen, I know it's his birthday, but it landed on my weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you want to do this? Because if you want to celebrate it, and I understand, I'm not even being difficult. If you want to celebrate it on his birthday, fine, I'll pick him up and I'll celebrate it later. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
She's like, no, it's okay. You can come get him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Me and my mother, we set up this whole thing to take him to Chuck E. Cheese and all that. Got family members coming and all that. And I get down there and she changed her mind. And that's exactly what she said. She changed her mind.
And she waited till you got there to Brooklyn.
She wouldn't even let me see him. She wouldn't even let me see him. I'll call the police. They call the police. I showed them my court-ordered visitations. And they tell me because she's in Brooklyn,
they can't help
you.
Wow,
They
man.
can't enforce it. And I'm like, what the?
Why should it even matter where she's at?
Well, that was the last straw. Like, that was it. That was it. That was the last straw. I was just like, yo, okay, all right. And if I continue this, I at this point, like, I know I'm just gonna risk it all.
Yeah, because I mean, at one point, you backing the dog in the corner. What you expecting to do? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You already went through the whole legalities of the whole situation, and they still not honoring that. You know what I'm saying? So at some point, I hate to say it, but sometimes you might have to take a step back from it before you end up trying to handle it on your own.
Yeah. And go ahead.
Also, you want to take a step back because, at some point I was looking at her like, what's up with you? Like, when we didn't break up because I was just like, yo, I'm not there with you. I'm done. I want to be single.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we had problems. And it was like, yeah, when you going to break up? She started seeing other people. I started seeing other people. Like, so what is it? Like, you just don't. I don't honestly. I really don't understand it. I don't understand.
Yeah, we gonna have to get some women up here too, to
don't understand
to get their thought process, right? Because this is. I mean, to me, it seems pretty clear cut. There's a lot of there's a lot of sourness. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And a lot of.
Will they say the truth? Is the question.
Absolutely.
Will they say the truth? Will they say the truth? Is the question. You know what I'm saying? Because listen, there's some dudes pieces of shit. Don't have those kids around your kids, whether they're the father or not. I completely understand. But shorty, if you're gonna actually say I was pissed off at him that he left me, that we broke up, so I took it out by not letting him see his kids. Are they really gonna say that? That's the question.
I've never heard a woman say that.
Right.
Never. Ever. I've never heard a woman admit that shit. Like, you know what I mean?
You know what's funny? I've heard women say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've heard women say, now you want to go be with that one. Now you won't see your kid.
Oh, no, I've heard that. I just mean I never heard them admit.
Oh, no, like on a platform.
Yeah,
me either.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
No, I've damn sure heard, you're going to be, like you said, but now you can't see your kid. But I've never heard him admit, like, I was mad. And
right.
I kept this kid from him.
Yeah.
Right.
They'll always say some other bullshit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Nah, that's crazy.
Yo, Juan, I definitely appreciate you sharing your story.
No doubt.
And I really hope the listeners can, gain some sort of insight from that. It's very, very eye-opening and insightful.
Absolutely.
Man, I'm going to say it again, man. I'm going to say this is, whatever. Look, be careful of who you have a child with.
That's right.
All right? That goes for men and women. Be careful who you have a child with. You don't got to go through this bullshit.
Facts.
All right? Because I got 2 other kids, and I'm in their life all the time. They live with me. And all I do is spend time with my kids, so.
Right.
Can't say I'm a piece of shit father.
But I want to say this, though. To all of the piece of shit fathers out there, y'all need to actually listen to this too, because you got people that's actually out here trying to fight to see their kids, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you got a lot of people that's taking that shit for granted. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Hey,
So shout out to all the fathers, man.
That's
That's
why they
actually
pieces of
being
shit.
fathers. Huh?
That's why they pieces of shit, though. So,
Yeah, that's a fact.
you know what I mean? That's pieces of shit. But, word, shout out to all the fathers. Shout out to the good mothers out there. Shout out to y'all shit, to your podcast. You know what I mean?
Thank you. Salute.
I expect to be a concurring special guest.
We'll definitely be reaching out to you again, 100%.
You know what I mean? I got a lot of fucked up life experiences you're probably gonna ask me about. Word up. Salute, Vic.
Yes, sir. So you take it easy out there. We'll be in touch.
Yes, sir.
All right. Later. So what'd you think about that? kind of deep.
Yeah, it was. But you know what, though? I did like the fact that we had a call in.
Yeah.
Because we're given our perspective off of logic.
Yeah, we haven't been
common
through
sense, right?
But he did echo a lot of what we were saying.
Absolutely. But it was good hearing it come from somebody that's actually physically in that situation.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? And it just kind of proves everything we was talking about already.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. You know? And it's like a lot of it is just using kids as pawns.
Yeah, and it's sad because, like we said, it's only really obvious. It's breaking down the man, the father, and then it's breaking down the kid. And these situations also affect the way the father moves forward, possibly in the next relationship. You know what I'm saying? And it may even discourage the father from, wanting to have kids. Like, we don't really know how it affects the next person.
Everybody's going to be different.
But as Juan said, you do have to be careful about who you choose to have a kid with. And that's very, very key.
That was deep. And it's like, and I think another thing, like, it needs to be handled in the court systems as far as, like he said, 9 times out of 10, the fathers aren't going to be difficult because y'all have what we need.
Right.
Y'all have the prized possession, so we're going to play nice. You know what I mean? But the thing that kills me is, he even said, listen, you can watch Little Man on his birthday on my weekend. Yeah. But let me just come get him. And she was like, all right, cool. Then you wait for me to get out there and then cancel it. Yeah. Come on, man. There got to be some type of repercussions.
Right. And then there's no, like you said, there's no repercussions.
No repercussions. I didn't pay for a haul. I got my family waiting. Where is he? Yeah. And then to not even let me see him, like, what's really going on? Yeah. Come on.
It's messed up.
I'm going to be honest with you. Like, it's so severe because women should be put in jail for stuff like that. I'm going to be honest with you. Yeah. Because you don't understand what he has to go through mentally to not react the way he may want to. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Imagine you traveling from the Bronx to Brooklyn and you got a Chuck E. Cheese hall set up with family and friends there waiting for you and your son to show up. And then I spend my money, right? And that's another thing. How much money are the men and the fathers spending on court dates, transportation, taking off time from work? Yeah. You know what I'm saying like that? I know too many people personally that's missing days of work, messing up their own money. Yeah. But then they still got to pay child support.
But then that's also why a lot of men don't pursue it or can't keep up with it because they can't afford the courts. Can't afford it.
And one of my boys was telling me, he can't afford a lawyer, so he got to take legal aid. And legal aid wants you to take a plea deal. That's just how it works. Yeah. They're not going to fight for you. No. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, I think that something needs to really be done. And like I said, man, like who's paying for all of these expenses? Yeah. You just set up a whole hole. Yeah. And the guy's already paying child support. And then you deny him the kid. You denying the kid to have a good time with his family. Yeah. Because of your own personal core issues. And I'm telling you, stuff like that, you should be put in jail for stuff like that.
Even the part of the story where he said, look at this from this perspective. The kid is being denied access to his father. So all those things that he can't learn and model after somebody who's clearly wants to be there, be an active father. Now, he said the mother ended up being with another woman. So think about the images that this kid is now seeing, where you eliminate the father figure, and now you replace that father figure with 2 women.
With a woman.
It's going to be a certain level of confusion, even for him. So now moving forward, how does he view his father? How does he view a normal man and woman relationship? How does he view his role in a relationship? Like, it's all these things that nobody's thinking about. Right. and you just assume that, these kids are going to be okay. And it's not that simple. So as we know, anything in life, you follow a lot of things that are patterned or taught to you.
Mm-hmm.
When that structure gets broken, where does that lead the kid?
Right.
And a lot of times, obviously, we don't know until
it happens.
You follow the course of their life, and then you don't know what this kid is struggling with as a result of those things.
Right.
And it's unfortunate. It's hard enough in life when you have two parents who are actively there and teaching you all the right things. You can still go astray.
Absolutely.
There's still so many things that can go wrong. When you have this level of dysfunction and disruption, it makes it 10 times worse.
Absolutely. And then, like you said, I think it's big, and this is what bothers me. It's bigger than the parents. And it pisses me off because, like you said, how is this young boy, how is this young boy supposed to even know what a man is supposed to do in a household?
Right.
How is he supposed to learn these things? From two women? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I think that's just kind of messing up his psychological a little bit.
Even a little deeper.
Psychology.
As you look at it, Juan said, before his father passed away, so his father was around. So now this kid loses access to his father. Mm-hmm. He loses access to his grandfather.
Right.
He loses that whole dynamic that now he wasn't even around for. Now the grandfather's passed away. Now he's not even able to see that whole dynamic. So, it's that whole bloodline, the father's father. Yeah. You get to see that whole interaction. Right. You get to learn from both of them.
Right.
There's so many things that gets disconnected that's valuable to a kid.
Right.
It's a lot deeper, I gotta keep saying this, than people realize. Mm-hmm.
And that's like, he's missing the whole stage of manhood.
Yeah.
Adolescence, all of that.
Yeah.
Discipline. You know what I mean? Structure. You understand what I'm saying? And that's what the male brings, to the household.
Yeah.
Structure. And he is gonna have none. Hopefully, when he gets older, he starts to spend a little bit more time with his dad.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And he's gonna have to play catch up.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But and even with that, at that point, you have so much stuff that's instilled in you that might be not really what you needed.
Right.
And it makes that catch up time even worse, but even harder. Mm-hmm. But then you might never readjust to certain things because you already are patterned for certain things.
Right. I agree. I think, like I said, man, it needs to be re-looked at. You need reform, right? In a whole court system when it comes to, custody situations and battles, and you know what I mean? Because it's like, I'm sorry, I feel like some of this needs to result in jail time.
Yeah.
Because, and I know that's
it's neglect.
Yeah, it's pretty severe, but I'm serious about that because I feel as though you're destroying kids for the future. And not only are you destroying kids, but some women are blatantly using the child as a chess piece on a board.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Knowing the father can't get too crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because then
But hoping that they do.
Yeah, but secretly hoping they do.
Yep.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, what are you really getting out of this? It needs to be a repercussion for this.
That's what goes back to a long time ago in the beginning where I spoke about, when you have those unfortunate situations where the father gets into a physical fight with the woman or he ends up so-called kidnapping the kid. Mm-hmm. These are the results. Because, again, the father is so passionate about seeing his kid and he's being restricted. Sometimes they lose it or they resort to drastic measures. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't get looked at.
And you know what else is crazy? I want to say something that he said that was extremely important. He said, I explained the situation to my mother and I explained it to my father, and he said, I understand.
Yeah.
You know how powerful that was?
Yeah.
That goes to show you the importance of a father in the young man's life. It never stops. You understand what I'm saying? These are the things his father told him before he passed away. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like that right there. Juan, I'm guessing, maybe 30s, mid 30s. I don't know his age, but let's just say he's still learning from his father.
Yeah.
And that's and look at the importance of the dynamic. He told his mother the same situation. His mother was like, "Oh, this, that, and the third." He told his father, "No, if that's how you feel, stay away from the situation because you're going to end up somewhere you don't want to be."
And it's also because he said he went through it.
And he went through it. You understand what I'm saying?
The mother couldn't relate to saying that. The father could. The father been through the same damn
situation with his mother. But she didn't even see it that way. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why I'm trying to explain to you the importance of fathers, man. Like, people just overlook us all the time. They just want us out there working, turning wrenches, and coming home.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But the impact that we have, and that's probably why he's on the other side of the bars right now because of what his father told him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's deep.
Crazy.
Please share this video as well as this information. Please share the petition so we can get information out there to more people that this stuff is going on, and we can work on doing something to stop it so no other fathers have to go through this madness. I'm going to leave links in the description for the petition in case you want to sign it or you want to just check it out. Leon's Instagram, where you can find footage of some of the funeral incident. Also, the Father's Truth podcast that Leon was on and he told his complete story. All links will be in the description. Check it out.